Hi Jess, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm really fine. How was your experience this semester?
It was really nice, like my teaching philosophy changed a lot.
Yes.
What about you?
Also my teaching philosophy
Really?
had
How?
changed. I can divide it right now into the before and an after. For example, in a conversation class, I used to believe that to give a speaking class, it was just speak of whatever topic and whatever, and it was just speak. But right now, I realize that there are different activities of speaking,
Yeah.
and that there are theory. It was something that I didn't know before. What about you?
Like for me, I used to believe that a speaking class was too dependent, like on the other skills, especially in reading and grammar. But now I can see like the speaking skill is too independent, and like I can teach a class focused on speaking. What about you? How was your attitude?
My attitude before it was really bad because I used to be that kind of person that think that English is difficult and that nobody can speak very well or very fluent in English. But right now I know that there is not true that if I am a good teacher, I can make that my student speak well and make a very good oral production. And what about you?
Like before, I used to teach like in a really traditional way, a lot of vocabulary and a lot of grammar, and I didn't used to implement like what the communicative competence involves. But now I know that I can just give to my students like the tools in the communicative competence, linguistic, pragmatic, and sociolinguistic, and they will feel comfortable in order to produce an speech.
What about all the theories that we saw in class?
Like like before I had like like I listened many things about teaching, but the theories I like tools. I like not theories in that way, but I like tools like the Common European Framework and
El
El Reto, and the theories how to teach. So it's really important, and I didn't have any knowledge about. But now that I manage those articles, I feel more confident when teaching, and I know what my students need. What about you?
For me, it was like a crash because I tend to be a romantic person, and I try to avoid the technical things. But when I face the theory of that a conversation have different parts, for example, the moves, the topic shift, the exchanges, all that stuff. And it's because the conversation because something theoretic for me right now, but it was really nice because I know how to apply them to a class and to make a very good class or a lesson plan or whatever.
Yes, I didn't see it that way, but yes, it's nice.
It's something that it was really difficult for me in the theory. It was the sociolinguistic competence that is one of the communicative competence because I had been teacher like for 3 years ago and I didn't apply it in a
Conscious
way the sociolinguistic competence. What about you? How is your knowledge about sociolinguistic competence?
Like it's not really something that I can explain to you, but it's like something that I learned by her. Like the first time the Professor Frank drew the kind of outline for a lesson plan, like he drew a square where the linguistic, pragmatic, and sociolinguistic competence were involved. I just get it, and it was really nice for me.
Yes, it was really funny. For example, an experience, an anecdote. Anecdote, how I can put
Anecdote,
anecdote.
I think.
The first time I faced a class, I was afraid because it was my first time.
Oh my
And
god,
all
yes,
the
it
people,
really is.
yes,
Yes.
all the people was like shy people. I mean, every time you face a new class, a new students, everybody's shy because they don't know you and you don't know them, and I have to confess, I didn't teach anything about conversation. The only thing that I gave them was the vocabulary. I actually made that thing learn by heart, memorize the vocabulary, because I think if you want to talk, you have to know a lot of vocabulary.
And you know, like for me, it was the same. Like the students felt uncomfortable about making an oral production. But now I can see like is the way you drive the class. Like during all the stages of the class, let's talk about practice, presentation, practice, and production. You involve like the oral skill. At the end, they will feel really comfortable to make an oral production.
And something that I learned, that I know right now, is that it doesn't work really to learn vocabulary. I don't know how to express it. You get my idea?
No, actually no.
That, for example, during all the semesters, that is better to learn speaking, not just learning the vocabulary.
Yes. Actually, what I learned is like it's really nice to learn like the whole skills. Like you need the whole package with English, with languages. And you know, one of my principles before related to speaking was like, if only one of my students make an oral production, I was happy, and I was thinking like the other one were just on the silent period. But now I know that it is better to make to encourage or the students to participate in an oral way.
I think that's something that involves everything, is that we have first to engage the student into the language, and then we have to encourage the student to produce, to speak, to express.
Oh yes,
and it
definitely.
is in that space is when you can use the topics that you have researched from the students. For example, if a student likes the music, to talk about music or to make a role play including music.
Role plays are really interesting, I think. What about the skills?
The skills, we're going to talk about the skills.
Really? So.
And that it was difficult for me, the sociolinguistic skills. But
yeah.
how was your experience into the conversation to course this semesters?
Like, you know, it was really nice and I learned a lot. But you know, we didn't observe one thing, that it was like we need to make an argumentative speech. Like we did it, but we didn't like make it in front of the class. We didn't get a note from it, and for me it was really important because I'm not really good and I'm kind of lazy with that, and I needed like the pressure of the teacher, like I'm gonna give you a note, so you need to do it. Still, we didn't have time, and the class was perfect. So, what about you?
I learned a lot, especially not for the syllables of the class, but from the professor.
Yeah.
Something that I learned, and I really thank you, the professor. It is to prepare the class, to personalize the class to each student, to take into account the experience of the other, to take into account the topics, the general topics, the specific topics.
Like he took us like as general, as a group, and as individuals also, and it's really something that we need to say thanks for that.
Thanks to the professor.